Hey guys, Scott back again with a new beer dissection video. Depending on how quickly I upload these to YouTube and what order, recently, at least the filming of this video, I've been doing a bunch of new beers from Lake Placid Pub and Brewery from Lake Placid, New York, Adirondacks, North Country area, one of my favorite breweries. I don't get up there as often, so I've had beers shipped to me. So I just did recently a Kolsch, Hefeweizen, IPA. So if you are interested in that brewery, take a look under the beer dissection. What I have today from them is one of the last crowlers I have in this batch. It's called their Patriot Pale Ale. Okay. It's at 6.2%. They're using Hazy Pale Ale, Wakatu. I think that's a New Zealand hop, Mosaic, and that's it. Okay, and so I'm assuming it's going to be along the lines of an American Pale Ale. We'll see, even though all these beers are derivatives of English beer and English textbooks since at least the late 1970s. So that's pretty much it. Lake Placid Pub and Breweries in the town of Lake Placid, about a mile or two out. They have big slide breweries. So sometimes I apologize if those of you who watch me that do work up in that region or work for the actual brewery, because they do have big slide brewery, which again is a mile or two away. It's kind of like the sister brewery, with Lake Placid Pub and Brewery being kind of the mothership. And then I think they're opening one in Saranac. I'm filming this in the fall of 23. Thought they were opening this fall, but you know how construction goes. It's probably going to be maybe in the spring if it's not soon. But definitely I would check them out. I've really been raving about their beers for years. The famous Ubu Ale and things like that. So this one's just I'm assuming a regular American Pale Ale. Actually, they say a hazy Pale Ale. Not in a hazy, juicy New England IPA there. And not necessarily just a pale ale. So it's probably a hybrid between a New England IPA, a West Coast IPA, and a regular American IPA, but we'll see. I'm going to be just using my regular tulip pint glass today. Nothing too fancy here, right? So let's crack this open and take a look at it. Okay. I've had a lot of breakages on my glasses recently. So some of them that you may see me use a lot, my smaller tulip glasses, have been biting the dust recently in the sink. All right, so I'll just give this a second to just settle for a minute, but we'll take at least the color of the head. So we kind of got that nice white, okay, to maybe a light tan head. Pretty tight, compact bubbles. Looks like that head's going to sustain itself for a little bit. You're kind of getting that, Cool Whip, beating egg whites for meringue kind of look here. But pretty nice looking head. All right. Let's take a look at the color. So we have that, medium amber to dark amber. I wouldn't argue with one saying it's a little darker amber, a medium amber. Pretty crystal clear. It's actually looking like an American Pale Ale. It almost looks like Sierra Nevada Pale Ale. All right, the color of it. So it's not looking like a New England. They called it a hazy Pale Ale, but I really don't see much haze in there at all. It's actually pretty crystal clear. And so I would say more American Pale Ale or a West Coast IPA at the very most. Well, let's take a sniff of the aroma. Oh yeah, you got like tropical fruit, maybe passion fruit, papaya. Not that I eat papaya that often. Papaya, I sound like I'm stuttering here. That often, but it's definitely like kind of a tropical fruit. Little white grape. I'm even getting a tiny bit of pine. Did they give me, what hops did they give me here? Mosaic. Not sure if Mosaic gives us a little bit of pine, but I almost get a little bit of pine. Very pleasant though. Great, aromatics here. Very fresh. So if you want to say tropical fruit papaya, I maybe even get a little bit of stone fruit. Kind of like a peach, a mango. maybe even mango more than papaya. I mean, I eat mango a lot more than papaya, so maybe I can vouch for that a little bit more. The aromatics on the malt. This actually smells like, not that long ago, I did a review on Flying Dog Raging Bitch IPA. That's the actual name of the beer. It almost smells like that. Very nice. Kind of like that, fresh squeezed juice, but not like orange juice or grapefruit juice. Just kind of like, just fruit bomb, mango. If you want to say, like I said, papaya. Very good. Very nice. Okay. So anyway, let's look at that one more time. See how it's very clear. So I wouldn't say it's hazy at all. So anyway, cheers, guys. Prost. Oh, wow. Nice medium high carbonation. Again, very easy on the palate. You kind of get that tropical fruit, whether you want to name it papaya and I say mango. You could probably even say a little bit of peach in there, or some type of melon like cantaloupe. The malt is, bread crust, graham cracker kind of malt. And you can kind of even tell, they're probably using some level of crystal malt, like either at 10 Lovibond or maybe even 20 Lovibond, maybe even biscuit malt. I don't know. You're kind of getting a little bit of the familiar colors here. The bitterness is kind of moderate to pronounce it there. There's definitely a nice bite of bitterness there. There's no alcoholic warmth, which at 6.2, again, I would not usually get. If you followed me around for a little bit, 7.5, 8 is where I start getting it. Not getting it at all. On the back end, on the aftertaste, again, I'm almost left with, and I get this on some beers, and I actually should have smelt it on the nose, almost like I'm getting cotton candy. It's not like we're using strawberry, but it's almost like I get that perception. Maybe it's from the little residual sweetness, the mango, tropical fruit, because on the palate, I almost feel like I got like a little bit of cotton candy on my taste buds without it being like cloyingly sweet, just kind of like that illusion that there's a touch of strawberry in there, and it's probably just the combination from the sweetness of the malt, crystal malt probably being used, and with the hop combination, that's probably the illusion I get, because obviously they're not using strawberries in this beer, but very good. Nice, hoppy bitterness here. I should say sharp bitterness. No astringency. I don't get anything, like I said, anything like grapefruit or orange. I don't really get that. If it is, it's probably a little more towards orange. Maybe as I'm really trying to take this in here. Sometimes I do these beers, like most of these beers I just do right on the fly. I'm evaluating them as I'm recording this. I try not to drag it out for too long, but there is a little bit of orange. It's more like an orange marmalade. Very subtle. You kind of get it with the malt and, the mixture probably of the mosaic hops and things like that. But very good. Again, no astringency. It's kind of medium bodied. Pretty crushable, even though it's at 6-something%, which is not off the charts high, but it's substantial enough. It's not your typical 4%, 4 or 5% beer. Very good. I mean, I would say if you were trying to understand what this beer was about, it's a little bit like Sierra Nevada Pale Ale, a little less pine. As you notice on the taste buds, I didn't really get much pine on there. Even though on the nose I was getting a tiny bit, maybe a touch on the taste buds, but It's kind of like a Sierra Nevada Pale Ale, those of you that know that beer well, but added a little bit more of that. I guess I think Wakatu, or if I'm pronouncing it properly, is a New Zealand hop, maybe Australian. You kind of, instead of just getting kind of like a little bit of grapefruit, you're getting a little bit more blast of tropical fruit, the papaya, the mango, things like that. That's kind of how it's drinking, but it's very clear, very, pretty crushable, and, medium bodied, and I'm enjoying it. I mean, something like this, you could pair, I won't dive into it because I think pairing with me, it takes a lot more, thought, in the sense that I'm not going to sit here on the fly trying to record this video and have this beer for the first time. I probably have to, as I'm drinking the rest of the crowler, think about the pairings and write them all down. Because this one, other than typical like, pizzas, flatbreads, things like that, some, medium fishes like tuna, stuff like that. I'd really have to put a lot more thought into pairing with this particular beer. But overall, grade-wise, I'd like to grade these beers. I got to say, I'm going to go B plus. I think it's one of your, it's like, I would call it like a flagship beer. Nothing's jumping out off the page, but it's just a solid, well-made beer. So I'll just keep it maybe B plus compared to some other pale ales. I'd still keep it around that B range, okay? Highly recommend it. But if you're ever up in that Adirondacks, Lake Placid, definitely check out Lake Placid Pub and Brewery, or Big Slide. And if they do open one in Saranac soon, if it's not already open, check them out. They really make solid beers. And you can, if you're making a trip up there, take a look down through my beer dissection playlist. I got a bunch of beers from them, especially the famous Ubu Ale. A few of them I use, I think, for what is styles. English Strong Ale is Ubu Ale. So that, guys, Patriot Pale Ale, 6.2% from Lake Placid Pub and Brewery. Highly recommend it. Good B plus, and that's pretty much it. Till the next beer dissection video, or beer video in general, guys, have a great day. Take care. Bye-bye.